Welcome to day 16 of the NBA Playoffs 2012. I will recap the Clippers-Grizzlies incredible Game 7 as well as the beginning of the Pacers-Heat series. But first we'll start out between Game 7 between two of the biggest gladiators in NBA basketball. Let's look at the tail of the tape. On one corner you got the Memphis Grizzlies, founded in 1995 in Vancouver, Canada. Then they resided in Memphis about a good 12 years ago. And they have zero titles, 0 conference titles, and 0 division titles, and only 1 playoff win. Okay, so maybe they're not so great. Maybe that wasn't. But let's go to Los Angeles Clippers. Surely they got a good resume, right? They were once called the Buffalo Braves. Then they were the LA Clippers, and now they're the Los Angeles Clippers, and they have 0 titles, conference titles, division titles, and only 2 playoff series victories. Well, I try to make them better than what they appear, but I'm just going to get on with the game now. Alright, so it started out like this. The Clippers would start out. Actually, this was really an evenly defensive battle in the early quarter. No one really got off to a really hot start. And the game was pretty even through the first 2 quarters of the game. I believe the Clippers even edged out a 1-point halftime lead. And then the third quarter, Memphis, when they kept trying to score, but they still had a hard time doing that. And same with the Clippers as well. It would only be a 1-point game heading into the fourth quarter. And also to note, Blake Griffin got benched in the late third quarter. I found this shocking, but then again, if you look at his performance tonight, 3 for 11 for 8 points before he got benched, you could see why they pulled the plug on him. I don't know if it was his knee injury. I don't know what it was, but I think it was a smart decision on Del Negro's part, but it was also a risk. But I guess it was a risk willing to take, because they had to make an adjustment to win this game. And in the fourth quarter, they excelled at it. They excelled, and they just took over this game. And Memphis fans were just desperate for something to happen, but they would fail. They would face a downfall and a downward spiral they could not unravel themselves out of. And this would be the end of the Grizzlies, as that Game 1 monumental blow-up cost them. Well, it didn't really cost them tonight, because they actually had a second life once they got that road win in Game 6, but this became their undoing as they failed to win at home and barely scored over 70 points on that matter. And this would be the second straight Game 7 loss, 2 years in a row in the postseason, that the Grizzlies would have encountered. On the final of 82-72, the Clippers have now set a date with the San Antonio Spurs, and this ends every first round series in this year's playoffs, and it took 16 days to do it, man. 16 days. God, we're in for a long freaking ride, aren't we? Anyway, let's go to the next game, the Pacers in the Heat. Now, these two, they've said, people have been claiming that this was going to be a better series than what most people expect. I don't think I ever got a clear prediction on the Heat Pacers series, but I'll say the Heat in 6. But anyway, on to the game. The Pacers started out, they were really hanging with them tight neck and neck, and they really took over the first half, leading by 6 behind the attack of David West and Roy Hibbert, pounding the glass, getting the boards, and putting the ball in the basket. And that's really what you have to do against Miami. You got to take advantage with your size, and you got to try to pound the paint. But in the second half, this is where things got turned around, thanks to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. They were just leading on the attack. They were getting to the line, and it felt like, and they ended up cutting that 6-point deficit they once had into 0 by the end of the third. And then the fourth quarter came around, and then it was just the LeBron and Wade show, as they would just take over this game, and Indiana just didn't have enough in them to close this game out. So the Heat are going to win this one 95-86, taking 1-0 lead in the series, Game 2, Tuesday night. on TNT. Your home for drama and basketball and more drama, because TNT seems to know it way too dang well. But anyway, that's all to both games. The player of the day, I'll say LeBron James. 32 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Third three-time reigning MVP, though I kind of thought Kevin Durant should have won the MVP, but I mean, that's for y'all to debate, not me. The disappointment of the day, you gotta say the Grizzlies. I mean, they were at home. You finally won on the road. You were taking care of your business at home, aside from the Game 1 catastrophe that you pulled in the fourth quarter, which I think was the key point to the series, that if you never blow that lead, you win the series in 6. But you killed yourselves, Memphis, and that is why you're not in the second round. I'm sorry. I mean, I hate to break your hearts like that, but that's just the way it is. Alright, well, and I will also say the Clippers beating the Grizzlies was the upset of the day as well. Be sure to, oh, actually, I won't be here the next couple days, so the next couple videos will be coming in a little late, but I will recap those games as they come, starting with tomorrow with Game 2 of Boston-Philly, and also Game 1 of OKC and the Lakers. Also on Tuesday night, it will be Game 2 of Indiana and Miami, as I mentioned earlier, and the beginning of the Spurs-Clippers series on Tuesday. So be sure to tune back in. I'll be back on maybe Wednesday. So I'll keep you be posted. Get comments below. I'm out of here.